Hello, welcome back. This is part 2 of my 2021 WIP parade. Part 1 will have WIPs 1 through to 21. Part 2 has WIPs 22 through to 40 something or other. We'll find out when we get there. Basically, it's based on when lunch will be ready and if I can get this one done in half an hour. Okay, so WIP number 22, Nantucket Rose by, whoops, upside down. Nantucket Rose by Lavender and Lace. I started this one on the 19th of August 2017. She doesn't get a lot of love, but she did come out in 2020 and I did do some work on her, and she is stitched on 32 count Belfast. A whole lot of love from Colour Cascade Fabrics. This is where she's up to now, and I did do a bit of this area during 2020. I used her from memory for Sane Stitches Bingo. It's either Bingo or Stitchopoly, I can't remember which one, but that gave me some of this work in here. That's where we're starting from for this year. And this is the whole piece of fabric, just pretty blues and whatnot. I don't have a specific goal for this one other than to spend some time working on it, which is why she's on the WIP parade. Number 23. Number 23 is in my So Much to Love bag. That was my birthday present from last year. Sorry, no, 2019 it was. 2019? Yes, 2019. So this one is Castles in the Air. Again, another one which has been hanging around way too long. I started Castles in the Air on the 20th of August 2017. And yeah, did stitch on it last year. And I have pretty much completed a page. So I'm feeling pretty good. So this is on 32 count Belfast at last from Colour Cascade Fabrics. And I absolutely love the way this fabric, the colour variation in this fabric is just stunning. And we are up to here. So this is where we're starting. This is basically the page break on this side and down page break on here. And here we are. So I have done some back stitching in here with the little motifs. And from memory, we are very close to finishing the whole of that page. I'm just going to do a little bit in here and then that page is done. The page finish would be my ultimate goal, because that would mean I would touch this one. Last year, for 2020, I chose this as my WIP, one of my focus WIPs, and I hardly ever stitched on it. It's not a summer stitching for me. It is a winter stitching one, mainly because I'm stitching in white, and I find that with sweating and stuff, I don't want to stitch on white. And unfortunately, whenever I want to bring out something like this, it's usually a stinking hot day. So it doesn't get stitched on in summer, which is a shame because it's pretty and I would like to really get it finished. But so the ultimate goal would be to completely finish that page and with a bit of luck get a second page done, but I'm not going to hold myself to that one. That was number 23. Number 24. Okay, number 24. My goal 2020 was to finish this. And I did a pretty good go at it and almost did, and then got sidetracked onto something else and never came back to it. So Little House Needlework's Pumpkins for Sale started on the 1st of September 2017. So yeah, been hanging around way too long now. It will be finished in 2021. And as you will see when I show it to you, it is basically done. So it hasn't got a lot more to go. It's stitched on 28 count Joan Silver Springs from Colour Cascade Fabrics, one of my absolute favourite colours. And we have literally got a bit of a pumpkin to finish. Whoops, bit of a pumpkin. Just got to finish that pumpkin. I've got to finish the leaves on there and extend the border along the bottom, and I'm pretty much done then. So yeah, it will be done this year. Been hanging around way too long. So I had to put these ones in just so I could get a quick finish or two. Next one, I had stitched on this one earlier. Well, actually, I shouldn't say earlier. I can't remember if I stitched on earlier in the year, but I certainly stitched on it later in 2020. You may not have seen it. I can't remember when I last showed it to you. In fact, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have seen it. So this is Eiffel Quaker in my Paris project bag. This I started on the 2nd of September 2017 in my own colorway, and I'm basically just using a white DMC, black DMC, and Sky from Weeks Dye Works and Liberty from Weeks Dye Works as well. So Sky's the blue, Liberty is the red. The color choices were something that hubby and I thought about because we'd actually been watching Les Mis. It's one of our favorite musicals and stage shows and movie. And we decided that we would, well, I would, use the theme of the French flag, red, white and blue, and also thinking about the song in Les Mis, Red and the Black. So I chose red, and I didn't choose the navy blue. I liked the softer blue, and this is where it's at now. I know, it's probably easier to do this. So that's where it's at now. I did a lot of work on it in the latter half of 2020. And basically I finished the Eiffel Tower. I finished that motif. I started that one. I did all of that. And came across here and did this one. So I did a lot of work. Because I'm not doing before and after photos on this, it's not worth me showing you this. This is just the starting point for this year. It will be finished in 2021. Absolutely finished in 2021. Love, love, love this. I'm not really following the chart in the sense that where it says to put a particular colour, I'm sort of just feeling my way a little bit with some of the placement of the colours of how I sort of feel. If I haven't got enough white in one area, I might make a bit more white or something like that. So it's pretty much my own invention, but I am absolutely loving it. So that was WIP number 25. Okay, WIP 26. So it's another Nora Corbett. So this is Orchid Pixie, which comes from the Spring Garden Party collection for the Pixie Couture series that she did. I started this one on the 16th of September 2017. She hasn't had a lot of love. I did bring her out for about 60 stitches in 2020 for bingo. Just the way the numbers fell. And I managed to get some stitches in. I'm stitching this on 28 count Britney Opal Galaxy from Joda Redesign. So it's quite a pretty pink and stuff. And this is our starting point. So the only bit I did this year, well, in 2020, was just to come down on the side here. And I think I did a bit more of the white, but that was it. It was just the way the numbers fell and the time that I had to do it. So she hasn't been really touched for quite some time. Goal would be hopefully to finish her, if not get a really good almost finish on her, because she does need to be finished. Another one that should have had a lot more progress on and hasn't had any progress for a while is WIP number 27 with Shimmering Mermaid from Mirabilia. I haven't touched her for a little while. In fact, did I bring her out for 2020? Can't remember. She may have come out for something in 2020, now that I think about it. Some mermaid sale. This is being stitched on 32 count Opal Belfast Oceans from Colour Cascade Fabrics. And the starting point for her will be here. This is it. This is all I've done on her so far. So a little bit of the skin's coming in. I've got some Krynic I started. That's why I'm thinking I did that in 2020, because I sort of remember doing the Krynic in 2020, but I may be wrong. don't take that as gospel. But that's where we're at for this year. Goal for her, just to get some stitches in. Would be really nice to get a lot of stitches in, but I'm not going to hold my breath. But, you know, if I was able to sort of come down and finish the body part, that would be awesome, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I just want to have her in the list because I think she's been hanging around too long without any real love. So she needs to be stitched on. Okay, WIP number 28. This one was supposed to have been finished in 2020, didn't get touched. This is the 12 Days of Christmas by Little House Needleworks. My whole plan was that was going to be finished for Christmas this year, or last year. But I hit a snag. And I think I've probably mentioned that I hit a snag. So this is stitched on 28 count Opal Britney jewellery fabrics, and it's called Celebrations. Really pretty. I love this. My little snag that I hit was I'd stitched number 12 and I'm out by one thread. I'd stuffed up obviously when I counted across and split a thread or something. So I stopped because I thought, oh my God, I've got to take all of that 12 out. And then, you know what? I didn't. So I'm sort of thinking about it now that only I know. I think I've told you. Can you see it? Can you notice it? No. I don't think in the scheme of things you can notice it. It's just slight out, but it's not. When you're looking at it, and even if I look at it closely, I can't see that it specifically doesn't. Yeah, I know. So I'm looking and I can see that that doesn't quite line up there, but you know what? Everything else is okay on it. So this will be finished for 2021. It will be a 2021 finish. So that was WIP number 28. And I started that on the 25th of December 2017, which was why I wanted to have it finished last year with the aim that I was going to finish it on Christmas Day in 2020, but didn't happen. Number 29. Now this one, this got some love. This one I think I'm going to have to put a picture up there because this is my Little Sheep Virtues montage. So it's the Little Sheep Virtues from Little House Needleworks. And it is also the Sheep in the Meadow from Country Cottage Needleworks. So I started the very first Little Sheep on the 1st of January 2018. So it was my 2018 New Year, New Start. I'm so missing not having a start today. So missing it. Never mind. I didn't work on it a lot. What did I do? I managed to finish 3 of them in 2018. And I started the 4th one in 2018, but finished it in August 2020. I then finished another 3 in August and September. So I don't think you've seen this. So this is what it looks like now. This is stitched on a 32 count Belfast from Colour Cascade Fabrics. It was her September 2017 mystery fabric. So I don't know what she went on to call it, if she called it anything at all. So it's basically just a mixture of blues and purples. So this is row number 1. Going across. So I finished Courage in 2020. I stitched Faith in 2020. I then moved down and stitched Patience and Joyfulness, and that's as far as I got. And I did a boo-boo. It's not a major boo-boo, but it's a boo-boo. So when I'm stitching down, I forgot to go back and look at my notes because I knew that those 2 followed down, and then my plan was to do that and go across and go back up. But I forgot that what you actually had to do was stitch that row and start basically the block again so that you had extra spaces, and the same would then sort of go down, so there'd be a, because only these ones going across the join and share the border, the ones going down don't. So I've not left myself enough room in the middle to do the whole of the little, the other one, the sheep in the middle. But I think, because I did a major check and I did a count, and I think basically I will be okay, because it's going to just fit in there, and I was going to trim it down anyway. I will finish the little sheep, and then what I will do is work out the next one and trim it down a little bit, so I can pull some hill bits out of the hill or whatever. Where's the chart? So this is the one I'm talking about. So because I basically was thinking, if I don't do all the words for a start, because I wasn't actually going to do all the words anyway, I was going to change some of the wording. So if I was to just do this and not have that border, and then maybe just do that top bit of wording, it will fit. But you know what, that's a long way away, so I don't have to worry about it. The goal for this one this year is to get all of the sheep virtues done. Now, because I'm doing this all together as a montage, it's classed as one WIP because it's on one piece of fabric. So I have little mini starts. They're not starts. I'm only recording them as starts in my notes, so I know when I started them. It's one whole WIP. Okay, number 30. So this one, again, should have been done by now. Don't know what the hold up is. This is The Bookshelf by Little House Needleworks. I started this on the 8th of January 2018, and it was part of a group which Vicky, who started Magical Stitches Up, ran in 2018, which was the Jane Austen stitching group. So that was the original sort of stitching about books, and then we moved on to Magical Stitches. So that's what this was started for, because Jane Austen is mentioned. This is stitched on 28 count Opal Lugana from Under the Sea Fabrics, and the name of the fabric is Gaia. And this is where she's at. I did pull it out in 2020, and I stitched that bit there and started the Secret Garden part. And I think I finished, yes I did, I finished this here, one of those sides. So that was to do with a challenge for something, I can't remember. It might have been Crystal Academy. I might have had to do something that needed to be locked or something. So yeah, so that's where that one's at. So again, goal is to finish. Been hanging around way too long. And that was number 30. Number 31. This is another one which has been hanging around way too long. I have to be very careful how I'm going to show you the picture of this, because it's from a magazine. So this is Winter Bluster from Glendon Place. Comes out of the Just Cross Stitch Christmas Ornament issue 2016, and I started on the 15th of January 2018, and this is where we're at now. I'm stitching this on 32 count Opal Belfast Midnight Magic from Stitches and Spice. And as I've mentioned numerous times, Stitches and Spice no longer dyes fabric, which is a real shame because they had some beautiful fabrics. So that's where that one's at. I haven't actually got many magazine ones in this time. I'm in the magazine challenge Facebook group, and my plan was to start a few towards the end of last year, and I didn't do them. So we haven't got a lot. So what I have got, I've included in this, in my WIPs, just so that I will have something to work on hopefully throughout the year in that group. This one is another magazine one. This is WIP number 32. It is called Give Joy from Country Cottage Needleworks, and that is the ornament. This one came from the same ornament issue, 2016 Christmas ornament issue, and I've always got to remember which is the right way up. I think it's that way. That's all I've done. This one is stitched on 28 count Opal Britney Elf, which from Jodie Design, which was her 2016 limited edition. So I'm stitching it on half of that. And probably, if I think about it, I probably shouldn't have started in the middle because I probably don't need all of that. But I didn't think of that at the time. So that is a goal to finish it. So that should hopefully be a finish this year. Number 33 seems to be the Little House and Country Cottage part of my WIP parade. This is Christmas Carols from Country Cottage Needleworks. I started this one on the 11th of March 2018. This is also stitched on a Jodie Design fabrics. This is 28 count Opal Britney Scottish Heather. The plan is to finish that one this year. So I did have this out earlier or later in 2020. I had it out in 2020 and I finished that top block. And I think I finished some of those, I can't remember, but that top part, I worked on that. I remember doing that. That was for some challenge. And that's where it's at now. So I just have to finish off anything I need to backstitch and then work on the bottom motif at the bottom of that, and that one will be done. So this will be a finish in 2021 as well. That was also supposed to have been finished for 2020 and we didn't get that far. So it will definitely be a 2021 finish. Okay, WIP number 34. This one is a Little House Needleworks, surprise, surprise. This is Old Glory. I started this one on the 11th of May 2018. It was a Stitch Mania start for 2018. And I also have used it for the Little House and Country Cottage Facebook group for the Patriotic sale. It is stitched on a 28 count Lugana Dapple from Picture This Plus. And that's where we're at. I haven't cut any of this fabric down. This will be a finish in 2021. I have no doubt. There isn't really a lot to do, so I need to finish that one. So that one's in the list. Okay. Number 35. Number 35 is Pink Sparrow sampler from Brenda Gervais with Dye Needle and Thread. This one actually I think is one of her Country Stitches ones, but it's a Brenda Gervais. I started this for Stitch Mania in 2018 on the 18th of May 2018. It is being stitched on 36 count doubloon from Picture This Plus, so it's this fabric. Didn't cut it down. We'll cut it down when it's done, and this is where we're at. So my border is all met up, as you'll see, but I do have to do some work on the little bits that stick out on here, but I just stitched around and made sure the border stitched up. This is being stitched in all of Call Fours with 1/2 on 36. I love those colours, aren't they so pretty? So pretty. So that's that one. WIP number 36. This is another 12 Days of Christmas, but this one is the Maria Diaz. This came from the Cross Stitch Collection December 2001 issue. Oops. I did not stitch on this at all in 2020, or did I? I might have stitched on it at one point in 2020 just for a sale quickly, but this is where it's at. There's a border there. There's just over border. I remember I had to stitch on a border, and I've counted across, so I've done that, but I don't know if it's right, so I haven't gone any further until I get back to it. But I love this. This is so cute. So I've started, I think I actually bought this out for bingo. I might have had this out for bingo. There's the swans, and I've started back stitching the partridge. I was supposed to work on it for December 2020, but I didn't. It just never got there. Goal for this is just to basically do the French hens, come up here so that I can make sure that border's in the right place. Number 37 is Snow Bunnies, which is another Little House Needleworks one. That's them there. Glare. This one comes from the just Cross Stitch Ornament 2007 issue. It is stitched on 32 count Opal Belfast Arabian Nights, and I started this on the 23rd of June 2019. Now I could have saved this for my Comet, my Christmas Eve couriers, but it's not big enough, so I've decided to use it for something else. This is a Stitches and Spice fabric, and that's where that's at. Again, the aim will be to finish that one in 2021. At least it hasn't been around as long as some of the others. We are now at WIP number 38 in my list. This is Father Frost. I have loved Father Frost. Absolutely love it. I started this on the 1st of July 2019 for Joan Elliott July at the time. It is being stitched on 32 count Opal Lugana Silver Springs. I've had it out again this in December and I'm stitching on it, and it is coming out for January because it's going to be used for a challenge in January. So I'll be stitching on this again, but I've just taken off the Q-snap to show it. It's stitched, I told you it's stitched on 32 count Opal Lugana, I think, Silver Springs from Colour Cascade Fabrics. And in this turnaround of working on it, I've been working on his face and his hat, and then coming down into his beard and doing these trees. Just love it. My goal would be to finish it, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I just want to get some major work done on it this year, but we'll see what happens. So it will come out again for Joan Elliott July once I've finished with it for the January challenge and I'm working on it. Okay, that was WIP number 38. WIP number 39 is Cats, Bats and Witches, which is a prairie schooler, and it is my only prairie schooler that I happen to have in this particular thing. It's this one here. I'm just doing the small one. I started this on the 2nd of October 2019 when I was doing my designer FlossTube series for Cheryl McKinney, and did I do it? Is that part of that? Can't remember. No, I may not have been. Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I started it anyway. And this is what it looks like so far. It was definitely my Halloween stitching. I might not have done it for that particular series because that was what my Satsuma Street one was. This is on 28 count Lugana Zephyrus from Under the Sea Fabrics. And it's just stitched in DMC. So that's where we will be at when we get to that one. It will be finished in 2021. It had no work on it in 2020 at all that I remember. Halloween Cat, Satsuma Street is my next WIP, which is WIP number 40. This is stitched on, I'll show you a picture. I better show you a picture. Have I got a picture? Yes, I have. Halloween Cat. Lots of bright colours. It is stitched on 28 count Opal Britney Warlock from Jodery Fabrics. Which is this one here. I stitched on this in 2020. And that's where it's up to now. Can't remember exactly. I know I did a lot of work in this. I did that bit of the moon and I came up and did all of up in here. So I actually did quite a lot of work. It was well over 1,000 stitches on this one in 2020. And that is it. So I'm now going to pause. That was WIP 40. I thought that's actually a really good stopping point because I think my lunch is about to ping and tell me it's ready. So I will pause, go and have some lunch, come back and tidy up, put the air conditioner back on in this room so that hopefully I don't melt again, and we will run through the last 24 or thereabouts in my next one. So I shall see you soon.